to show you who individuals are. When certain individuals die or when certain tragic things happen, so a lot of times it's sad, but it takes certain situations like that to find out who's who. That's like me and Freeze. You know, me and Freeze is brothers. Let's say, uh, uh, God forbid, but let's say that, I died. And let's say I died broke. I'm here to tell you that, Freeze, you know, um, if I die broke, my brother is going to do everything within his power to make sacrifice, do whatever, so I can be represented correctly and properly. I just know my brother. If the shoe is on the other foot, I'm going to go all out for my brother. You know why? Because that's my brother. I don't call everybody my bro because everybody ain't bro. My bro is Freeze. That's my bro. That's my brother. But bro, yeah, that's a whole nother dimension. That's a whole nother galaxy that these individuals, man, have never had the opportunity to even be in with me. And that's the selective few. And I deal with that. I'm brothers who, God has blessed me and ordained, for to be my brothers. See, I'm a real dude. Freeze is a real dude. When I say you my brother, you don't even know what that means. A brother not gonna leave you in danger. Not no brother. Uh-uh. Once an individual show me that they're not what they profess to be, I completely separate myself. Because I can't be around nothing false. I don't want to associate myself with somebody that's not who they profess to be. You don't know what you in until it's been tested. And if it has not been tested, then keep your mouth closed. Stop calling that a brotherhood. Stop calling that a sisterhood if it never been tested.
Appreciate y'all tapping in. As always, do me a favor, wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. What I mean by that, hit that like button. Appreciate you. First and foremost, I'm going to put some love in my body as always. We're going to talk about it, man. It's unfortunate that we got to have this conversation, but we got to have it. It's very necessary that we have this conversation. I had a conflict within myself as to whether or not I wanted to have this conversation, but it's very necessary. Happiness, health, and wealth. Long live Sinful to P. Now, out of that clip that I just played for y'all, which y'all have heard already probably numerous times at this point, the part that I want y'all to focus on out of that clip is where Sinful said, represented correctly and properly, right? He said that Freeze would make sacrifices, do whatever he had to do to make sure that Sinful was represented correctly and properly, right? Now, just take Freeze out of the equation, right? Because I don't want you to focus on me right now. I want you to focus on what Sinful said out of his mouth as far as how he wanted to be represented, right? Which is correctly and properly. I just want y'all to focus on that correctly and properly part right there as far as him being represented. Now, of course, he put me in that comment, in that statement, because he knows that out of anybody, I know how Sinful would want to be represented, right? I know how to correctly and properly represent him because of how tight we were, you know, how well we knew each other's thoughts, you know, the things that we shared with each other. I know how to represent him correctly and properly, right? And anyone who has love for someone like a Sinful to P, a Philip Brandon Gilmore, if you have love for somebody like that, you're going to make sure that you represent that individual the way that they want to be represented, right? That's what love does. Love, it prompts something in you to set your own desires to the side for the sake of fulfilling the desires of the subject at hand, right? That's what love does. We do it for children all the time. We do it for parents all the time when they get older and certain things they can't do for themselves. We do it for grandparents. We do it for, family members, loved ones who get sick. You know, the key is respecting that individual's wishes, right? And I mean, y'all can decide for yourself. You can decide for yourself because I don't want to set any type of particular narrative. I don't want to influence your decision on how you view things. I want to do my best to be as non-biased as I can possibly be, right? Uh, but I have to lay things out in front of you so that you can understand what it is because, you know, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because all of you are so heavily invested. You know, you all are the reason that Sinful to P is the figure that he is, right? You all are the supporters. You all supported him and still support him to this day. You all got love for him, right? And you know, you all are the ones who are willing to step up when some people are unable to step up or unwilling to step up, right? You all are the ones that have stepped up and will step up again if need be. I already know this, right? So this is why I have to share this with you. This is why I'm bringing this to you right now because it's only right and it's only fair because see me, I'm not the type of individual to take people's kindness for a weakness. I'm not the type of individual to take people's kindness for granted, right? I appreciate all of y'all for everything that you have done and everything that you continue to do, right? So, with that being said, as many of you might already know, a lot of you didn't know, and none of us knew until the last minute, but Philip's family, in particular, his sister and brother, I don't want to just say family, right? Because that's too big of an umbrella to put everybody in. And there's family members who were not involved that didn't have a part of this, right? I'm sure a lot of family members didn't even know about the funeral that took place yesterday, let alone show up, right? But Philip's sister and brother had a funeral for him yesterday. He was laid to rest and they had a funeral for him, right? Now, they didn't let anyone know until Wednesday. Yesterday was Saturday. I left Chicago Sunday, right? I left Chicago Sunday. They well, his sister made a post on Facebook announcing that they were having a funeral Saturday, which was yesterday, right? So if you think about that, that only allows people 72 hours to prepare to show up and pay their respects to Philip, right? They didn't let anyone know. Well, I keep saying they. The sister, she didn't let anyone know because the brother claims that he didn't even know until Wednesday. Right? I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth. This is what the brother said. The brother said that he didn't even know about this funeral until Wednesday. Right? So I leave Chicago on Sunday. The following Wednesday, an announcement is made via the sister's post on Facebook, which I don't know how many people she's friends with, but not a lot. And most of y'all on here is probably, if any of y'all are friends with her, it's probably a small handful. But she made a post on Facebook announcing that his funeral was Saturday, which was yesterday. And that was the first time that it was made public that the funeral was going to be Saturday. So that only gives people 72 hours to prepare and show up to this funeral, right? Um, that's very short notice, especially for those of us who are not in Chicago, especially for those of us who are not even in the Midwest. 72 hours is very short notice for anyone to show up, right? 72 hours is even short notice for someone in Chicago to show up because people have prior engagements, most likely that they have planned. People have work. People have plans, and the way it normally goes with a funeral, you're notified, enough time in advance to prepare to show up, right? Usually at least a week, sometimes 2 weeks, you know, but there was only 72 hours given to only a select few people, right? I wasn't told about the funeral personally by the people who set up the funeral, the people who arranged the funeral, which is, to my understanding, Sinful's sister and Sinful's brother, right? No one contacted me and let me know that a funeral was going to be Saturday. No one contacted Dre and let Dre know that there was going to be a funeral Saturday. No one contacted Sinful's game up in Canada and let them know that there was going to be a funeral Saturday. Honestly, I don't even think any of the family showed up, right? I don't even think the family showed up. For any of you who are in contact with them, I would love to know whether or not Dennis showed up. For those of y'all who don't know, Dennis is Sinful's stepfather, which is his sister and brother's biological father, right? He wasn't at the burial. I know that much. So I doubt he was at the funeral. But he may have been at the funeral. I don't know. I know he wanted to go to the funeral, but I'm curious to know if he showed up to the funeral. Another thing I'm curious about is the obituary. I would love to see the obituary. If anybody has a picture of the obituary, if you could be so kind as to send that to me, I would greatly appreciate it. But I don't know what the obituary looks like. I don't know what's in the obituary. You know, uh, and back to Sinful statement out of his own mouth, I don't know if the obituary represents him correctly and properly. I'm. About it. I'm curious to know how the funeral was. Uh, seeing as how the funeral was paid for with Sinful's own money, you know, that he was afforded largely in part due to your support, right? I mean, I would like to know. You know, I don't know how y'all see it, but the fact of the matter is, you know, Andre Taylor and myself, we came together and made sure that Sinful's body made it from Canada, from Toronto to Chicago. Andre Taylor and myself, we came together. Many of you supported. And, you know, through our combined effort, Sinful's body made it from Toronto to Chicago, right? What I want y'all to understand is that had Dre and myself not got involved, there's no support from y'all. And whether or not there's no support from y'all, had Dre and myself not been involved, I don't know how Sinful's body would have made it back to Chicago from Canada. Anybody who really knows Sinful knows that the last thing he wanted was to be cremated. He would have never agreed to be cremated. But what I'm saying is, had Dre and myself not been involved, his sister and brother, I don't know what kind of means they would have came up with in order to make sure that he was represented correctly and properly, to make sure that his remains made it from Toronto to Chicago. You know, the brother and the sister, really, both of them, neither of them are uh neither of them are, I'm looking for the right term to use, but financially they're not in the greatest of shape. They might not be in the worst shape financially, but they're certainly not in the greatest of shape financially. Not only are they not in the greatest of shape financially, but they don't have the means. They don't have a support system around them to make certain things happen, right? So what I want y'all to understand is that it's very safe to say that had Dre and myself not been involved in getting Sinful's body back to Chicago from Canada, he wouldn't have made it. And what most likely would have happened is that his remains would have been cremated, and the cremation itself, even to cremate a body, is $1,400. And the sister and brother, I doubt that they would have put that together. So his ashes probably would be sitting in Canada right now, you know, waiting for somebody to pay for him, had it not been for Dre and myself and Sinful's game. You know, Sinful's game didn't even have to get involved. Dre and myself took care of it, right? But that probably would have been the next option. If Dre and myself didn't make it happen, then Sinful's game would have made it happen. His students, as he referred to them, his students would have made it happen. But what I'm letting you know is, if it was left up to the sister and brother, his body would have been cremated in Canada. And his ashes would still be sitting there waiting for somebody to pay for them. Right? So that being the case, how come Sinful's game? How come Dre? How come myself? How come we weren't given enough notice to show up? Because I was there in Chicago. I was there. I just left Sunday. A few days before it was announced that he was having a funeral on Saturday. I was just there. You know? How come Dre didn't have the opportunity to show up? How come Dre wasn't notified? You know, he contributed to Sinful getting back. How come Sinful's game up in Canada, his students, how come they weren't notified? You know? And like I said, man, Sinful wanted to be represented correctly and properly, as he said out of his own mouth, right? Don't even think about Freeze being the one representing him correctly and properly. Just anyone who loves him. That was his point. He said that about me because it was no doubt in Sinful's mind that Freeze loved him, right? That Freeze was his brother. That's why he used me as an example. But if you take me out of the equation, what he really meant was anyone who loves me will make sacrifices, do whatever they have to do to make sure that I'm represented correctly and properly. Anyone who loves me. That was his point. His point was, if I were to die, whoever loves me will make sure that I'm represented correctly and properly. I'm not the only one that loves Sinful. I might have been the closest one to him that loved him, but I'm not the only one who loves him, right? And see, as I said just a minute ago, and I'm saying it again, when you love somebody, you make sacrifices, you do whatever's necessary to respect that individual's wishes, right? Prime example, Sinful, when his mother passed away, right? He made sure that he respected her wishes. He wasn't thinking about his own wishes. As he said in that comment that I read to y'all on a previous live, he wanted to bury his saved and sanctified mother, right? Saved and sanctified mother. Not his mother that was in the game, or not because I'm in the game and I'm some pimping. I'm gonna make sure my mama have a pimped out funeral. No, it wasn't about him. It was about his mother. So he made sure that his mother was represented correctly and properly, right? Nothing to do with that service. I was there. Nothing to do with that service had to do with Sinful's personal wishes, right? His personal wishes was his mother's wishes. So that's why his mother was represented correctly and properly, because he loved her so much. He represented her the way that she would want to be represented, not the way that he would want her to be represented. It was nothing personal. It had nothing to do with him. It was all about her. So he made sacrifices. He did whatever he had to do to make sure that she was represented correctly and properly, right? That's what he did for his mother. So that's an example to you as to how you represent somebody that you love, right? Sinful was the best example of that to you. Guess who else was there? His sister and brother, right? Everybody who was there knows that Sinful wasn't living in holiness at that time. But Sinful knew that his mother was in holiness. So he represented her correctly and properly, man. And y'all have heard Sinful say this on lives before, right? When he goes, he wanted his service to be representative of the lifestyle that he was living at that time. Now, it wasn't gonna be just like, you know, a pimped out players ball type of funeral, but Sinful's wishes were to be respected, were to be represented correctly and properly, right? But see, this is why it's important for people to understand their roles. This is why it's important for people to understand what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. It's important for people to understand what they're best suited for and what they're not best suited for. Everybody can't do everything. Everybody is not meant to do everything. And it's imperative as a human being for you to know what best suits you. And what doesn't best suit everybody is leadership. Everybody is not meant to be a leader. That's why, again, when Sinful's mother passed away, everybody wasn't the leader. It was one leader, and that was Sinful. That was Philip Brandon Gilmore. In that situation, Philip Brandon Gilmore was the leader, and he handled everything. He took care of everything. Nobody else had to do anything because he took care of everything. Wasn't no sister and brother bumping heads and trying to step on toes and do this and do that and do it their way and all of those shit. No, Sinful was the leader in that situation. And thank God that Sinful was the leader in that situation because his mother was represented correctly and properly. Right? So everybody else fall back. We know who got this. We know who got this. Hold on. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. First and foremost, Jason, you're not telling them the complete truth. You just making it one sided. We as Phillips family do not, and I do look, Jason. I do say this to you too, just out of respect. I know my brother possessed love for you, and he did want you to have control or say so over his funeral proceedings. But you guys are only understanding from his perspective and not the family perspective. So just to put some paint where it ain't, as Philip would say, when we arrived here or when you arrived here in Chicago, me and Camille do not know you. We know we know you Philip's P partner of just criminality, like you his partner. We don't know you. All right. So when you came here, you said that you were a beneficiary, right? That wasn't true. All right. So that automatically bring up from a logical standpoint, Freeze, just so you know, if I don't know you and you come to me and you saying that you a beneficiary, right? and you're not a beneficiary, that automatically raises red flags. Now, in addition to that, when my brother passed, it had not even been 24 hours before I started seeing slander videos or Philip dying with AIDS. So me and the family, if you guys can think logically, I'm sure as being students of Philip, y'all can, we're already on guard. We already been dealing with creeps and weirdos or people trying to just get any type of detail about Philip. All right. So if you come and you say you're a beneficiary, right? That raises a red flag because we don't know you. We think you trying to take advantage. Okay, going forward, right? Going forward to get to the death certificates. Which I do, and I do want to say this too while I am on live. I truly appreciate everybody that donated and helped me, including Dre. I even thank you, Freeze, for even putting your cash out there to help us bring Philip's body home. The family is in mourning, okay? So me
And to
and
pay
Camille,
your rent.
thank look, thank you. Yes, this is bad timing. I'm not a prideful individual. Thank you. I'm not a liar, Freeze. I walk in truth. I'm not okay. So first of all, after that, so just so we can bring it back, Freeze. All right. So if you say you're a beneficiary, you're not a beneficiary, right? Then me and Camille get a call from Bank of America telling us that you tried to open a case for Philip, and you're not a beneficiary. That automatically is gonna make me and Camille suspicious. Then two, in addition to that, the remembrance the Sinful page. I asked you personally about that, and you lied to me because only the family knew that Philip passed on December 26th. So it had not even been 24 hours till you started that page. And if anybody that knows Philip knows that Philip hates plagiarism. And I get what your intentions is with the page, but you wasn't truthful. So automatically, this is a person that's his criminal partner, and he's already lying. I told you already. I have no objection to you, throwing a funeral for Philip. I know there's people that want to celebrate Sinful, the P. And I know Philip was not only Philip, but Sinful, the P. I get it. But the family, we buried Philip, okay? There's a lot of slander. There's a lot of things we had to deal with. We haven't even had the time to mourn, Freeze. And I get your frustration. But we buried Philip because one, it took too long with Canada playing games. All right. And then because of the disagreement between you and Camille, we just went ahead with the proceedings. Even when I was text messaging you, I already told you, you could go ahead, Freeze. And I'm sorry things didn't work out, but you could go ahead and have the funeral. Now, would I have wanted everybody to be involved or have the big funeral that Philip wanted? I still want that fulfilled. I still would like for you to do that. But that would be celebrating Sinful and his partners and the family. Y'all not thinking from this family standpoint. That's a lot on us, and I apologize, but like we don't know you, Freeze. You know that. I only have the respect that my brother has for you, and that's why I never cussed you out. I never did all of that when you went on live and calling each other out our names. But that's incorrect. You gave to me specific instructions, right, on how you wanted things to carry out for Phil's funeral. I did those things, Freeze. And I rescinded what you told me to do, and I confirm for you. I did those things, Freeze. But the family ourselves, we all of this slander about us being ungrateful, we not ungrateful, Freeze. That's not the truth, bro. We I know I don't want to disappoint or offend people that love Philip or has helped Philip or has tuned in for Philip for over 6 years, but the drama surrounding Philip, nobody, me and Camille don't want this, or getting on live. I have to get on live, so you have to stop slandering Mimi. Come on, man. Like this not Philip wouldn't want. You keep talking about what Philip want, but Philip wouldn't want this, Jason. You don't need the death certificate to throw a funeral for Philip. You can throw a funeral for Philip in Chicago. You can throw a funeral for Philip in Scottsdale. As a matter of fact, you instructed me not. You instructed them not to even attend the funeral because out of your mouth, if it's not official, it's not official if it don't come from Free's mouth. You told us to go ahead and bury the body. We did that. It had his body had already been, this, but going on live, doing all of this for the views, this is, as my brother would say, this is feminine. This is not right. Like stop throwing Camille. Even if you and Camille don't see eye to eye, Freeze. Stop this, man. Stop. The family would like to mourn Philip. We can't even mourn Philip if you keep throwing us under the bus and stuff like that. You can go ahead, Freeze, and have a funeral for Phil. We're hurt. People with all these comments, we're hurt. Y'all don't you look, Freeze, you give your testaments to these people and y'all saying me and the family was disrespectful, but me and Camille, we, like you said, we don't have the support system that you might have. We don't have many people we can trust. So from the way things transpired, we just went ahead. That's it, Freeze. But I'm telling you too, personally, to myself, like I know that my brother would have wanted you over his funeral processions. And Freeze, I hope you do have a funeral for Philip. That's it. But like, please stop getting on live and throwing the family under the bus because you wasn't in agreement with how things took place. Everything took place for a reason, and it's just based off the behavior and how things transpired. That's We don't know you like that. Just like you said, you never liked us. It came out that way. We don't know you like that either, Freeze. But I respect you because my brother respects you. I've never called you out your name. I mean, and they writing the thing, the criminal. I don't mean that. I'm trying to get y'all to understand, like from a logical standpoint. We don't. He's his pimping partner. We don't know him like that. But that's it, Freeze. Like, please, we would just like peace. That's it, Freeze. That's all I gotta say. I've never said that we're not thankful or we're not grateful for the individuals that helped get Philip. I've even expressed that to you. That's it.
Okay. Now you notice how when you were speaking,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I interjected one time because I had to add that, because you were saying the things that you was thankful for, and I wanted you to be thankful for that as well, right? But
I
aside
am.
from that, if you paid
Uh-huh.
attention, like how you interrupted me right now while I'm talking, I didn't do that to you not one time. So the only thing I asked for is just like how when you were speaking, I allowed you to speak uninterrupted. I only ask that you grant me the same respect, right?
Absolutely.
Whether you disagree with something I say or not, because you said a lot of things I disagree with and I still let you speak. With that being said, first and foremost, as far as me being the beneficiary,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I told y'all that is because Philip told me that out of his own mouth.
Okay.
Confirmation that lets me know that I'm not crazy is Mary also said that he told her the same thing, right?
Okay.
So I didn't lie. I said what Philip said. That's
Okay.
what he told me years ago. We even had plenty of conversations about it, how, I don't want my situation to be, if something happened to me, I don't want it to be the way my mother's situation was because of all the, red tape that had to be gone through in order to, for her situation to be right. So he said to prevent that, he was going to put me as the beneficiary. That is the only reason why I told y'all, because I was trusting his word. Whether or not he did it, or maybe he thought he did it but didn't do it, I don't know. And like I said, confirmation before I even had a chance to say anything to Mary about that. When I first spoke to Mary after he passed, Mary told me the same thing in tears. She's crying, saying, Sinful said if anything ever happened to him, yada, yada, yada. The same thing I told y'all is what Mary told me. So that wasn't a lie. And once y'all figured out that that wasn't the case, that's what communication is for. That's why you come to me and communicate with me as grown folks. But see, the reality of everything is you have been left out the loop. One, because your personal responsibilities hold your interest more than this situation. And that's just a fact. So with that being the case, your sister has been the one, controlling everything, and you have been left out of the loop when it comes to a lot of this, right? There's a lot that you probably still don't know even right now from beginning to up until this point of this whole situation, right? The next thing I need to address is that remembering Sinful the P page. I have nothing to do with that. And if you think about it, if I did have something to do with that,
You do.
first of all, the page would be much bigger than it is. Second of all, I know from a logical standpoint that if I were to endorse that page, people would trust that page even more and support it even more. And it makes no sense for me to create a Remembering Sinful the P page. It just really makes no sense. So I don't know where you got that from. And as far as you saying that the page was created the same day, what you don't know about YouTube is that you can change the name of your channel whenever you want.
Not
So
the start
whoever
of it.
created that page, 9 times out of 10, when they found out that Sinful was gone, they changed the name of that channel from whatever it was to Remembering Sinful the P. I've had this channel that we own right now since 2016. That's when I created this channel. So I've had this
Okay.
channel for almost 7 years.
All right.
I can change the name of this channel to Redfish Bluefish right now if I want to. I can change the name of it anytime I want. So that's that. You don't know about how YouTube works, but I'm letting you know that now. So whoever created that channel, I didn't even know when the channel was created. But you say it was created on the 26th, which is the day that he passed. If that's the case, then when they created that channel, I guarantee you that it had a different name. And I wish the individual who created that channel was in here so they can confirm what I'm saying, because I guarantee you they'll confirm what I'm saying if they was in here, right? So
I wish too.
beyond that, right?
They
How you
said I'm
say,
smirking. I'm smirking because of the comments that y'all writing because it's a live chat. I'm not smirking to be disrespectful.
go ahead, man. You got something to say? Go ahead.
No, I'm just the comments. They saying I'm smirking to be disrespectful. I'm not being disrespectful to no one. I'm just reading the comments as you speak. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead, Freeze. I apologize for interrupting you. Continue. Sorry.
Like I say, you know, I don't know. I imagine, I believe you knew. I don't know if Camille knew. You know what I mean? And nobody knew until Philip said it out of his mouth. But I'm pretty sure that Philip told you years ago, you know, the role that I played in your mother's passing, right? Um, I don't know how your mind works. I don't know how your integrity works. I don't know how your dignity works.
No, I saw the
But,
I
but
saw the I saw the message that you texted me, Philip, saying to you. I didn't when mom passed away during the funeral. I didn't know that till you sent that text message. Just to be clear, I do have integrity. I don't. I
okay,
didn't know.
well,
Yeah, I didn't know you blessed us like that, Freeze. I did not know
okay,
that.
but you knew that before you did this funeral. But moving on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mary let me know that she let Camille know that, right?
Okay.
So what I want you to understand is, first of all, that's nothing that I would ever brag about. And if your brother didn't let everybody know, nobody would ever know that. That would have went to the grave with me, right? Had your brother not put it out there to everybody. But he said it so many times on different videos that people mention it all the time. right? But what I want you to understand is that that gesture right there alone, I didn't do that for any props or pats on the back or accolades or praise or any of that, right? I didn't do that. I did that simply out of love. But what I'm saying is, once you become aware of that fact, my character shouldn't be in question at all, right? That should speak volumes about the character of myself, right? But beyond that, right? Like that clip that I sent y'all, that I played at the beginning of this video, you know what I mean? Philip wanted to
I
be
didn't see the
represented
beginning. I didn't
correctly.
see the beginning of the video, Freeze.
Okay,
I
well,
just got
well,
a
what I'm saying is,
message
I
that
sent, like I
somebody.
said, it's the same comment that I sent y'all in the chat. You and your sister. I sent y'all that the words from his own mouth, in which he said, Freeze will represent me correctly and properly. But the focal point should be not me. It should be how he wanted to be represented, right? And the bottom line is, y'all went to the bank, took his money, not your own money. You took his money and represented him in a way that he would never agree to. You know how close,
Philip,
him and your father was. Listen to me.
okay, well, I don't want to cut you off,
Okay,
but
go ahead. Talk. You got the floor. Go ahead.
all right, well, okay, well, you making it like that. I don't want to cut you off, Freeze. I don't want to
I mean, I
stop
just
your.
want the same respect I gave you. That's
I
all.
got you.
I
I
ain't asking too
absolutely.
much. I gave it to you. I just want the same in return. But like I said, y'all took his money from the bank, not your money, not Camille's money, Philip's money. Y'all took Philip's money from the bank and represented him in a way that he would never agree to. And you know that. If don't nobody else know that, you know that. You know that you represented him in a way that he would never agree to. And see, what you don't understand is that you don't just separate Philip and Sinful. You don't
No, you
separate him and
do.
Brandon Gilmore
Y'all
and
don't.
Sinful the Key. They're all that's one entity.
No,
They're different.
Freeze.
They're different. Hey
No.
man, I know it's hard for you to be respectful, man, but I just want the same I gave you. That's it. I didn't interrupt you. Not one time. You didn't interrupted me probably about 20, 30 times. I know it's hard, man. It's a thing that your brother had called self-discipline. You call yourself his student.
I'm Philip's first student.
Self-discipline is something that he was very big on, right? But moving forward, like I said, he wasn't represented the way he was supposed to. I can see if y'all took your own money and did it, but y'all took his money and did that. And see, you keep saying the family this, the family that, the family this. It's not about the family. It's not about me. It's about Philip and what Philip wanted. It ain't about what the family want. It's not about what Freeze want. It's about what Philip want. And y'all took Philip's money and did something that he did not want. You know what I mean? And then just moving beyond that, right? As far as the funeral home goes, you know, it's crazy how Camille, when I go up there to make the payment to get Philip's body transported from Toronto to Chicago, when I go up there to make the payment, Camille tells the people at the funeral home, oh yeah, it's okay. You can discuss whatever business he wants to discuss with y'all. Y'all can discuss everything with him, right? She tells the funeral home this. But after the money is paid, money that a lot of people in here contributed, money that Dre contributed, you know what I mean? After the money is paid, she doubles back and says, oh, don't discuss nothing with him. You know what I mean? I'm spending Uber rides, you know what I mean, back and forth from the funeral home to downtown Chicago, just to go all the way down there for them to tell me, oh, we can't, we was told not to discuss anything with you. You know what I mean? And then even when you emailed them and told them that it was okay to discuss things with me, you're not her because she's the one who put her signature on the paperwork. They even overrode what you said. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of things that you don't understand because, like I said, you're not in the mix like that. You
No,
wasn't really
I know.
involved in this whole process. So, you know, she kind of took things upon herself to do things the way she wanted to do them. You even said yourself out your own mouth that you didn't know about the funeral until Wednesday. You said that. You know what I mean? And see, I can't help but to think, man, that you and your sister got your own different reasons as to why y'all didn't want to represent him the way that he wanted to be represented, right? Because it's two times when people are most honest: when they're intoxicated by alcohol and when they're intoxicated by anger, right? Let me tell you something that you said when you was intoxicated by anger. When we was talking about the comment that your brother made on my video, where he said out of his own mind, his own words, that, you know, my mother was in debt because she had taken out so many student loans to put my sister, or she had taken out so many loans to put my sister and brother through college, right? So she was in debt. You, in turn, said, oh, she wasn't in debt because of us. She was in debt because of Philip. You go on to
But
say,
okay, hold up. Stop. Wait,
no, but
I
wait,
don't want to
no,
cut you
no.
off, but
You go
free.
on to
She was
say,
in debt
you
because
go
Philip
on
was
to say,
incarcerated. Look, okay,
right.
okay, Jason, but you not, you see, you saying one thing, you're not understanding the full truth.
You didn't even let me
Okay,
finish.
listen,
But go
Jason,
ahead. I know it's
Sandra
burning you up
Evans.
inside to listen and be respectful.
Listen,
Go ahead.
Jason, Sandra Evans was a teacher, right? Marita Mayberry was a teacher, right? Not going to college was not an option for any of Marita's students. Philip chose a lifestyle of pimping. If Philip was inside the will of God, Philip would have been in school too. Mom, dad did not come from just what do you call it? Because as you said, we were the burden. But mom, dad did not come from just me and Camille, just me and Camille being in college, which that's what my mom desired first and foremost. But Philip was incarcerated in Las Vegas, fighting multiple cases. Mom was taking multiple trips back and forth. Mom had to put money on his books, money on his commissary. Mind you, my mother is a single mother of three. We, me and Camille was in school. Philip was incarcerated. My mother was a saved, sanctified woman of God. You think me and Camille being in school was the burden? That's the only thing I wanted to say. That's not in anger. That's the truth.
No,
But
you now you change
but
you changing
because
your
you was
words
not
around
there
though.
and you
That's not what
never
you said
met
before.
Marita Mayberry, you never met her. You wasn't there when my mother was
No, actually I
sick
did meet her. See,
or
that's
anything
why
like that. You
that's what
don't
goes to
know
show how
what
you
a
out the loop.
burden.
I did meet your mother,
When
but you don't know that.
when
It don't matter. I met her.
you never
Ask your
met Marita
sister.
Mayberry.
Because
That's a
one of the times
lie.
that I
You
met your
never met
one
Marita
of the
May.
times, listen
When
to me. Listen to
when
me. One of the times that I met your mother, your sister was there. Ask your sister.
I ask her.
Yeah, because you don't know. Here you are jumping to conclusions. You assuming that I made this Remember Sinful to P page. You assuming that I lied about being a beneficiary, and now you assuming that I never met your mother. You
I
need to
didn't
stop
assume.
assuming
I didn't
things.
assume. It just was you said something and it didn't turn out truth. If I don't know you, Freeze, what would you expect me to
No,
believe?
but no. See, now you getting beyond. You getting beside the point though. The point is, you said that your brother is the one who left your mother in debt, not you and your sister. That's what you said. Now you trying to
Yes.
dress it up and put arms and legs and fingers and toes on it and turn it into
I'm
something
not
else.
recanting my statement. I stand on that.
Okay, but what? Okay, how does him going to prison leave her in debt more than taking out loans to put y'all through college? How do you compare that?
Freeze. When mom passed away, all of mom's loans, because my mom didn't sign the loans or any of the student loans by herself. When mom passed away, her debt doesn't just stay with her estate. If somebody else signed the loan with her, and I'll pull up the loans. Once my mother passed, that debt is on me. So mom didn't have any student loan debt when mom passed away. As soon as mom passed away, The Department of Education passed that debt on to us. You could look it up.
Okay, listen to me though. While your mother was here, was she or was she
And we
not?
had college. She paid college loans,
Listen
which
to me.
it
Listen
was
to me.
loans. I wasn't.
Listen to me. When your mother
Okay.
was here, up until
Uh-huh.
her last day, was she or was she not in debt?
To her last day, no. Freeze. You see, that's Philip didn't tell. That's what I'm saying. It's just a lot of.
Okay,
Jason, I
break it
promise you.
down.
I really
Break it
wish you
down.
would call me. I wish you would call me and we could have talked personally, but there's a lot of things you just not informed on, and that's not true. Mom was not in debt. Mom was in, if anything, my mom was in debt is because she was a single mother of 3 children
Okay,
and
but
she
see,
didn't
no, listen
have
to me.
any
Listen
help.
to me. You see how you keep changing up? Because first you said,
And she had a son that
listen,
was incarcerated fighting a case, multiple
listen to me, man.
cases.
Listen to me. First you said that you didn't leave, you and your sister didn't leave her in debt. Philip did. Now you're saying she wasn't in debt. And
Mom
then
wasn't
before that,
mom
you said that her debt was passed
Mom,
on to you,
mom,
but she passed.
my mother did not die in debt. Freeze. I don't know. And look, and when we get off of this live, I'll show you personal proof,
I
Freeze,
don't need
because
to, I don't need to see it. It don't
I
matter.
do
It don't
respect you,
matter.
but
I don't need to see it.
I'll
My
show you.
my point
Mother
is, my,
Marita Mayberry did not die in debt. Part
okay,
of
you
all
changed
right,
it.
I'll
A
talk to you
minute,
because I don't want to damage his
just a
legacy,
minute
but
ago, you said she did. Now you're saying she didn't. But my point
no, I
is,
did not say no, Freeze. What I was saying is a statement to your statement. You were saying that in the text message when you
it wasn't
texted
my
me and
statement.
Camille.
It was your
Well, okay,
brother's
well
statement.
the restatement of you said Philip said that we left mom and dad because we were in college. That's not true. Most of mom's debt came from, like I said, we took loans out. So the loans covered the tuition. The tuition was already paid for, right? Also, I'm not a dumb person. So besides that, moms was taking because my moms was stressed out. Moms was taking multiple trips back and forth to Vegas, to the county center, or she was putting money on books. We was actually all putting money on Phyllis' book. All right. Mom didn't have it like that, but it wasn't that she didn't have it like that because we were in college. She was a single mom of 3 children, and both 2 of her children were away in college, and one of her her students, not her students, but one of her children was incarcerated. That was where the debt was coming from. I mean, had you been a family member, you would know that. But like, I can never. I'm never gonna be allergic to accountability, Jason. But that's untrue.
Hey,
Mine was not
where the
in.
obituary at? Can we see it?
Can you see the obituary?
Yeah.
No, you don't need to see the. I mean, me and you personally talked about what I wanted to do for the obituary. I will even give you credit. Me and you both agreed on that we would do an obituary with like a QR code so that everybody can see the obituary.
Okay, where
I
is it at?
still, I don't have an obituary with a QR code. I don't even have access to Philip's stuff to even put that on for his fans.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I didn't ask you that. I just said, where's the obituary? Y'all had a funeral yesterday, right?
Yeah, we had a funeral. We had a
Okay, where's
service.
the obituary?
We had just a card. There wasn't no obituary.
Where is it? I can't see it.
No, Freeze. I just told you. My plan
Why?
was to put it online for
Why
you.
not?
You try to make it a thing like it's embarrassment, but Freeze. When you originally touched down, both our plans was to do something either for Philip's Patreon,
Okay,
Philip's
why you can't show the
his
card though?
YouTube. I I don't I
Because the bottom
haven't.
line, hey, listen, when it all
Okay.
boils down, right? When it all
Uh-huh.
boils down, the people that's in here, they the ones who pay for that obituary. Because y'all got money from his bank account to pay for whatever y'all did. The money in his bank account ultimately comes from the people that's watching right now. That's how he got paid. He got paid from people that's watching right now supporting him. If you take these people away, y'all would have went to an empty bank account. So you can't show the people who paid for whatever you did.
have access to Philip's accounts?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the obituary.
It's not a physical form obituary, Freeze.
Okay, what is it?
It's not no obituary. I don't have access to his account. I was gonna do what you said.
Okay, so did he or did he not have an obituary at the
No,
funeral yesterday?
Philip didn't. Philip did not have.
Your finger is over the microphone. We can't hear you.
Oh, I said Philip does not have an official copy of his obituary. No, he does not. I would never sit here in front of all the people and lie. No, my plan, just like when I discussed with you or what we
We're not
discussed,
talking
was
about a
a
plan. It's just a simple question. Either he had an obituary or he did not.
private funeral service for the family. There
Was
was
your
no
dad there?
obituary. Hmm.
Was your dad there?
Yes, I personally took Dad there. Dennis was there.
Was his aunt there?
Auntie Beatty could not make it. She had a something, but she was notified. Yes,
When was she notified?
she was no. I freeze. She was notified when I was notified. That's your answer.
Wednesday, right?
She was
Okay.
notified when I was notified. Freeze.
Right, Wednesday. Right.
If she could make it, she would have made it. But most people
If
didn't
she would have
even.
had notice, she would have made
Most
it.
people, like I said, Freeze. Most people, even if we did put out a notification for most people, because you went on live and you told them it's not official unless it's coming from Freeze's mouth, they would not have shown up anyway.
Okay, but
Right?
listen, you
You
say,
did not
listen to
even
me.
want to. As a matter of fact, if I go through my text messages, you gave me specific instructions, and I respected what you said because, of course, my brother wanted you here, or he wanted you to have Poseidon over his funerals. Freeze, Jason, I did exactly what you asked me to do.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because I didn't ask you to have a funeral yesterday. I didn't ask you
Oh,
to do that.
but okay, but that's the thing, Jason. Just
And then you saying it was a
hey,
private, listen to me. You saying it was a
Jason,
private ceremony, but she made a post that was public that anybody can go to and look at right now.
yeah,
You don't have to
but
be her friend to see that post.
oh,
Right,
I don't
exactly.
do the
You don't
Facebook
know.
thing.
You
I
don't
don't.
know. Exactly. That's my point. It's a lot
No,
you
but
don't know.
I'm not on Facebook like that, Freeze. You know that.
I know. Yeah, you don't know. That's my point. You don't know.
I don't get on Facebook. I don't know nothing of I hardly even do. I didn't even
Right,
want to
right.
do this. I
My
just
point, my
received a
point
text
is your
message
interest
that you was
level ain't where it
dogging
need to
Mimi
be. And
out.
that's why you don't know a lot.
Huh?
I said my point is your interest level about this situation is not where it needs to be, and that's why there's a lot you don't know. Still,
No, it
right now,
wasn't
there's a lot you don't
my
know.
interest. Huh? I can't. What you say?
I said, still, right now, there's a lot you don't know as far as the involvement of how this happened.
Wait, what? What you say? Okay, go ahead. Say that again.
I ain't gonna keep
Hello.
repeating myself, man. But the bottom
I'm
line
sorry.
is,
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
it don't matter. But moving forward, right?
Uh huh.
I'm just curious, man. Like, why would y'all have a funeral like that? Like, for
Why we
real?
have a funeral like that? Because one, the family is in mourning. Two, after you did your little stunt, or where you lashed out at the family and when you cussed us out and all of these things like that, like I said, we don't know you like that, Freeze, right? So
See, it
once you
ain't
go
about me or
live,
you. That's what you
okay,
don't
okay,
understand. It's not about you or me. It's about
but
Philip. What did Philip say?
okay, but just like I just said to you when you were saying that Philip and Sinful, right, is one entity. That's not how the family sees him.
It
That's
ain't
not how
it
we.
ain't a matter of how y'all see him. It's about
But we
how he
didn't bury.
represented
Okay, but
himself.
that's why I want you to know we didn't have a funeral service for Sinful. We had a funeral service for Philip.
Okay,
You
why y'all didn't do your Hey, it was Sinful's money to pay for what y'all did, though.
No,
Sinful.
no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't, and
Yeah,
it's hard
Sinful
to
the P
even
money paid for that funeral.
it's hard to
Not
even
you,
explain to
not the
you,
family
Freeze,
that you're talking
because
about.
you talk from a standpoint of just carnality. You don't understand. But Philip was
No,
more
no,
than
listen
Sinful
to
to
me.
P.
Hey,
Y'all don't
Sinful the
understand that.
P's money paid for that funeral that y'all did.
Yes.
If it was the way the family wanted it, how come the family didn't pay for it?
The family used the funds that Philip had. If we had our own money or we was
Yeah, it was made by
financially
Sinful
set
the
up,
P.
right? Philip paid for his own funeral service. You're
No, Sinful
absolutely
the P.
correct. No,
Since you
Philip.
want to separate them, Sinful the
Yes,
P paid for his own funeral.
Philip paid for his own.
No. Sinful the P.
Jason, we're not gonna keep doing this back and forth.
Yeah, see,
Like
that's the
it's
problem.
just
That's the
just
problem.
like
Y'all
what
want that's the problem
it's
though.
like what
Listen
I
to me.
texted you
That's the
too,
problem right
Jason.
there.
You can
That's the
have
problem right there. You don't want to respect him and represent him the way he wanted to be represented.
no, we won't be representing any pimping over here.
Right,
Freeze.
exactly. Yeah, go ahead. Say that one more time.
Yes.
Say that one more
Dear
time.
YouTube family, there will not be any representation of the pimping. I don't know why
Okay,
logically
why though? Why?
somebody that comes from a
Why?
true holiness household,
Why?
why we would have
True holiness household?
a funeral for the pimping.
So you in
What?
holiness right now?
No, I'm not in holiness. That don't mean
Exactly.
that I'm not. What?
Exactly. Is
That
your
don't.
sister
I'm
in
not in the
holiness right
pimping
now?
either.
Is
I'm
your
not in the
sister in
pimping
holiness right
either.
now?
Freeze. I'm not in the pimping either. What are you
Oh,
saying? As my
hey,
brother
your
would
brother
call
didn't
me,
smoke weed though.
I
So
haven't
your
smoked
sin
weed
is
since
better than
Philip.
his.
No, absolutely not. There's no
Yeah, your brother
difference
didn't
in
smoke weed,
sin.
he didn't drink alcohol. Yeah, but your
No,
sin
he
better than
didn't.
his though.
But we not gonna have a funeral for Sinful P. I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys don't comprehend that, but the way we was raised in true holiness, we would never have a
It ain't
funeral
about
in
how
the
you was
family.
raised, because you ain't living
We
how
would
you was
never have
raised.
a funeral
You
for
are not
Philip
living how you
Sinful
were
P.
raised. You are not living how you were raised.
You don't know how I'm living.
I know you're not living how you was raised. I know that much.
I know I won't be having a funeral for the pimp and the Sinful the P. I never even called my brother Sinful. So
It don't matter. That don't make him less than what he was because you didn't
that's
acknowledge it. It ain't
that's to
about you.
y'all.
It ain't
But
about you
that's
though.
to y'all. We be not the y'all not in y'all okay.
No,
I
listen, this is
can't
what you
keep
don't
going
understand.
back
This is
and
the bottom
forth.
line. This is the bottom line.
Uh-huh.
It ain't about you. It ain't about me. It's about him and what he wanted.
Right.
And what he
And
definitely would not have wanted was for y'all to do something and not even have a damn obituary at it. Like seriously.
there's a obituary, but it's not what you would call a. Like I said, we wanted.
Come on, man.
I know
Stop
that
it.
Philip
Stop
has
it, man.
Philip.
Stop it.
I know
Stop
how
it.
Philip has
Stop it, man.
fans in
Stop
his
it.
stuff. Like me and you
Stop it.
discussed. You
I
wanted
don't
to
even know
put it
why
on the
you got on here, man.
Patreon.
This is
We
crazy.
wanted to do the same thing. I was in agreement with you, Jason. I literally was gonna use your idea because when you first came here, I never disrespected you. When you came, Jason,
It ain't about
well,
me. You
Jason, but I'm
disrespected your
saying when
brother. You
you trying to make it
disrespected your
seem,
brother.
Jason, you trying to make
I
it
don't
seem
care
like
about me.
we
I
just
don't care
tried to
about me.
stop you
I don't care about
from
me.
doing
I don't care
well,
about me.
respecting my brother's
I
wishes.
do
I
not care
always
about
want to
me.
respect my
And
brother's
it
wishes,
ain't about your
Jason.
feelings or mine. It ain't about
But
your
we won't
wishes
be
or
having
mine. It's about respecting your
Jason
brother's wishes. It's about
and
respecting
Jay.
his wishes. And you
Okay,
did
and
not
Jason,
respect that man's
you
wishes.
don't need Jason. You don't need the family to throw a funeral for Sinful the P. You could do it.
That's
As a matter of
beside the
fact,
point.
the
Listen
family
to
don't
me.
even know
That's
how to
beside
throw
the
a
point.
funeral for Sinful the P.
That's
You could do
beside
that.
the point. You don't understand.
Okay.
Like, be real, man. You didn't do what he wanted. Just think
Philip,
about what he, listen to me. Just think about what your brother would want. Just stop for a minute and think about what he would want. Can you honestly say that the way y'all handle things, he would have approved of it? Honestly.
I can honestly say with the funds that we had available,
No.
Philip,
It ain't about that.
we
Because
would have
funds
we
wasn't the
did
issue. funds
No, it
wasn't an
was
issue,
an
because if
issue on
funds
our
was an
part.
issue, listen to
Yes,
me.
it was.
If funds was an issue, y'all wouldn't have got him back from Canada. So funds wasn't no issue.
No, that
But back
was
to
an
what I
issue.
said, can you honestly say that he would have approved of the way that y'all did things?
I can honestly say the money we had available, Philip would
Come on,
approve.
man. See, now you dodge it. It's a simple question, man. I didn't ask you about granted
Look,
the money that's given.
me, and
It
you
ain't
both
about that.
know Philip, and his lifestyle of the pimping. Philip would want it. Honestly, there's actually no amount. You would have had to be a Rothschild to throw the type of funeral that Philip probably would have wanted, because
Come on,
Philip
man.
was
Stop it. Stop it.
up,
Stop it.
up,
Stop it.
up at me.
Stop that,
Okay,
man.
but
Don't
you
do
you
that.
trying to deny it, but me and you both know that Philip is Phil. Phil wanted the very best of the best, elegant. That's how he was with the
Right.
pimping.
Right.
I don't never me like I Jason. I've literally said this 1,000 times. We the family don't know how to throw a funeral for Sinful to P. We would never even throw a funeral for Sinful. We never even seen Philip as Sinful to P. That's like
Okay, but
a alter
that's
character
who
or
he was
personality
though. That's who he was though.
to
That's who
you
he was.
guys.
No,
To
to
you guys.
himself.
No,
To
to
himself.
you,
To
Jason.
himself.
But you cannot
It ain't
speak on
about you
behalf
guys.
of
It ain't about the family. It's about him. That's what you don't get.
that's to you guys. That's not to us. We
It's
never
about him.
Jason. Listen,
It's
I don't
about
want to
him.
keep we running around in circles, but Jason, I look when you came here, I never disrespected you. I've always even
See,
had respect for
you
you
keep
just
going.
because Philip
You
had a respect for
listen
you.
to me,
But
man.
we the
Your focus.
family are
This
not
the
gonna
problem right
throw.
here. The focus is everything but your brother's wishes. You talking about disrespecting or not disrespecting me? I don't care about me.
Okay, then, Jason, if that's the point, throw a funeral for Philip. Throw a funeral for Sinful. Go
No,
ahead.
you don't get it,
We
man.
don't know how
It's
to
all
throw
right.
a
Go
funeral
ahead.
for
Say whatever you
Sinful,
want.
nor
I'm
will we
done
throw
talking to
a
you, man.
funeral for Sinful. I don't even like acknowledging my brother as Sinful. I feel like Philip was more than that. But you will never understand that because you only know the pimping and hoeing side of Philip. Y'all don't understand what the family understand. All of this people talking or having these comments on Philip don't even know Philip. Half of the people in the comments don't even have the mental capacity to understand Philip. That's the truth. That's irrefutable. But I won't even get into that. Like I said, we, the family, will not have a funeral to I don't know what person that was raised in true and holiness would throw a funeral for the pimping. Freeze, if you want to go ahead and have this lavish turnout for Sinful to P, go ahead. But we as the family, we look, we as the family never said that people didn't genuinely love him. Okay, we understand that, but we don't have a problem. Like we don't associate that part of Philip. I'm sorry, me and Camille have never done that. None of the family has. Jason, I'm sorry. I don't know how to throw a funeral for Sinful to P. I'm telling you that because I've never even seen my brother.
This shit is crazy, man. Well, as y'all can see, up until this point, everything has been a shit show. Uh, Everything has been a misrepresentation. You know, hopefully y'all understand now how Philip Brandon Gilmore, as well as Sinful the P, was misrepresented. You know, I hate that this kind of embarrassment is associated with his name. You know, but I don't want y'all to I don't want y'all to think any less of who Philip Brandon Gilmore was. I don't want y'all to think any less of who Marita Mayberry was. I don't want y'all to think any less of who Sandra Evans was. And I just want y'all to understand that this right here ain't a representation of that. You know, uh, this doesn't represent that at all. And yeah, this stuff here. But what I do want y'all to also understand is that this embarrassment is going to be overshadowed by something so great. You know what I mean? What I want y'all to understand is that Philip Brandon Gilmore, also known as Sinful the P, will be represented correctly and properly, the way that he's supposed to be represented. You know, I just want y'all to understand what's going on, because I know a lot of y'all have been on the edge of your seats. A lot of y'all have been putting, that's what people don't understand. People don't understand that a lot of y'all have made sacrifices. A lot of y'all have put certain things on hold. A lot of y'all might have had plans, you know, for certain things that you wanted to do that you put on hold because you was waiting to see when Sinful's funeral was going to be, right? It's crazy. I hate that that man's money was spent to do something that he never would have agreed to. You know, and honestly, I strongly doubt that. I don't even want to say that. I ain't gonna. But what I do know is that certain individuals that he spoke of as far as what they represent, they even wouldn't have agreed to that. Nobody agreed to that. And I know Sinful himself let y'all know all the time, man, that he appreciated y'all. But on behalf of Philip Brandon Gilmore, also known as Sinful the P, you know, I want y'all to know that he appreciates y'all, and I appreciate y'all as well. you know, and I respect y'all. That's why I come on here to give clarity to y'all, because I respect y'all. Right? I know what y'all do. I know how so many of you have gone out of your way to support Sinful to P. I know what y'all do. Right? I know the work that y'all put in. You know, it's because of y'all that his platform became what it was and what it is right now, still to this day. It's because of y'all. You know, and I don't look at y'all like something insignificant, like something on the sideline that don't matter. I don't see y'all like that. You know, I appreciate everything that y'all do, because each and every last one of y'all, from the smallest gestures that you do to the biggest gestures and everything in between, everybody's collective effort is what makes this machine move the way that it has moved and still moves to this day. I appreciate y'all, because y'all don't have to be here, man. It's millions of other YouTube channels that y'all could tune into. You know, y'all didn't have to support Sinful to P. Y'all did that because y'all wanted to, right? And I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, all 90-something thousand of y'all. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Seriously. I appreciate you for everything that you do. I appreciate you for everything that you make happen. And I just, it's crazy, man. Yeah, man. I want y'all to understand though that, you know, as Sinful to P would say, because I said it, it's still gonna be a memorial service for bro in Chicago, and it's still gonna be a memorial service for bro in Vegas. That's still gonna happen. But you know, this thing has gone far too long, right? This thing has gone on far too long. You know, he should have already been represented the way he was supposed to be represented, you know, and you know, we should be talking about it in the past tense right now. We should be talking about it in the past tense at this point, right? But I just want y'all to understand why we not talking about it in the past tense. I want y'all to understand, you know, there's certain things beyond my control is the reason why things happen the way that it's supposed to happen. Bottom line, people, I mean, as y'all can see, you know, his wishes didn't matter. His wishes didn't matter. it ain't got nothing to do with holiness, because that funeral that took place yesterday, that didn't have nothing to do with holiness. That's what I want y'all to understand. That didn't have nothing to do with holiness. Yeah, man, and yeah, that was just some selfish individuals. You know what I mean? Reason why that happened the way that it happened. Now, I can't even say individuals. It was really just one selfish individual and a passive individual. You know what I mean? It was a selfish individual that made everything happen the way that it happened, and an individual that didn't let his nuts hang. You know what I mean? One individual was supposed to let his nuts hang, and because that individual didn't let his nuts hang, the selfish individual prevailed. And hey, it is what it is. But bottom line, man, like I said, Freeze gonna let his nuts hang. Hey, and Freeze is gonna make sure that Sinful to P, Philip Brandon Gilmore, is represented the way he's supposed to be represented, because even Philip Brandon Gilmore, like people talking about not knowing him, or that individual talking about people not understanding and knowing Philip Brandon Gilmore. Hey man, listen. Let's just say Sinful to P never existed. That right there, let's say Philip Brandon Gilmore never backslid. Let's say Philip Brandon Gilmore stayed in holiness. That wasn't gonna happen like that. You know what I mean? But it's still gonna happen the way it's supposed to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. As always, I appreciate y'all. I just wanted to give clarity. I want y'all to first understand that I didn't have nothing to do with what took place yesterday. You know, I wasn't aware of that until the last minute. And I didn't have nothing to do with that. And, you know, that's not something that Philip Brandon Gilmore would have wanted. It's definitely not something that Sinful to Pete would have wanted. You know what I mean? And we gonna respect his wishes and represent him correctly and properly as he said, right? So with that being the case, man, stay tuned. Look forward to an update in the very near future as far as memorial proceedings. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna update y'all as soon as possible. Appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate your super chats. I appreciate your comments, your shares. I appreciate you subscribing, hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, man. If y'all out moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. I'll holler.